All right, so in this lesson, we're going to go over how physical activity correlates with academic performance. And oftentimes, when we look at physical activity, we think it just affects our human body. But quite frankly, when we're talking about subjects such as math or English or biology, physical activity can really help with improvement in those subjects. And then once we go over those core facts, we will go out and play a sport such as kickball ourselves, and then reflect not only on what moral and values we learn through those sports, but we'll also reflect on how physical activity such as playing kickball helped you throughout your day, academically speaking. So let's get going. How does physical education correlate with academic performance? There are positive effects of the brain. The flow of oxygen to the brain is increased, the number of brain neurotransmitters is increased, which assist your ability to focus, concentrate, learn, and remember and handle stress. The number of brain-derived neurotrophins is increased, which assures the survival of neurons in the areas of the brain that are responsible for learning, memory, and higher thinking. So obviously, when we are physically active, we are more inclined to remember what we learned that day. Physical activity is linked to higher grade. There are actual studies that prove this. A study from the University of Illinois showed that children who are physically fit are more likely to perform better in schools and achieve higher grades. Physical activity has an impact on cognitive skills such as concentration and attention. The more physically fit children were, not only did better at reading, but were better at finding grammatical errors in their reading. So it goes beyond just the basic academics, but they are able to excel through academics by being physically active. This also builds cognitive function. Just one session of moderate physical activity, just a basic jog or a basic walk or playing one game, can instantly boost kids' brains, function, cognition, and academic performance. Mastering fundamental movement skills boosts brain power and academic performance. And students tend to think, oh, well, if I start to, if I take an hour off to be physically active, aren't I losing time? Isn't that going to hurt my academic performance? When really taking a break to go be physically active for an hour, even if you lose that hour studying, it actually enhances your ability to comprehend the information you do later attempt to learn. So now that we've learned the positive effects physical activity can have on academic performance, please pause this video and review the kickball rules. Once you are familiar with these rules, you go out and play a game of kickball, and it can be just a one-on-one with a sibling or a dad. Preferably, I would like for you to have a teammate, but if not, just do the best that you can. And when you are done playing the game, please come back to this video. All right, I'm assuming you watched the video and that you played the game. So now let's reflect on a minute. Let's reflect on the real life applications. How did you work together on a team? Or if you were by yourself, how could you imagine working together on a team? Were you encouraging your teammate or the person you were playing? Were you encouraging one another? And what was your role on the team? How did you contribute? Someday you are going to be working in a job or in a business, and you are going to be a contribute on the team. You're not going to do everything for your company, but you're going to have to find a role. What was your role in kickball, and how can we apply that to future roles in the real world, such as your job someday? What were some of your strengths and weaknesses, and how did kickball apply to real life scenarios? So, if you were losing, if you were struggling at a certain skill, how did you overcome that adversity? Because in life, through school, through subjects, through work, you will have to also overcome adversity. And finally, what how did getting the stress out feel when you were playing kickball, and how could this help to your academic performance? Over the next couple of weeks, I would ask my students also to track their academic performance with physical activity to show if they've improved or not. And that concludes this lesson on how physical activity correlates with academic performance. Thank you for watching. Stop. Where's stop? Stop share? Yeah.
Go back. Yeah, stop share.
Stop share. Perfect.
Yeah, and recording the little square.
Right here?
Yeah.